Code George for a great discount. ParanormalDate.com. You are not alone.
Oh, more dead air.
What does our current out-of-control inflation look like?
Oh,
It looks like
okay,
paying
good.
47% more for fuel
Jeez,
than a
I'm
year
so
ago.
tired of
It
hearing
looks like
fucking
paying
news that I'm just like,
41%
what the
more
fuck
for the
are we
same
even
used
talking
vehicle
about?
you
Like,
buy
this
it
is
this
like
year
top
instead of last.
top
And it looks
conversation.
like paying almost 10% more to feed your family. It looks like every dollar in your savings is worth less than it was a year ago.
Wow, no one saw that one coming. It was obviously unprecedented.
Gold and silver from Birch Gold. Precious metals have historically been a safe haven in times of inflation, and Birch Gold is the leader in converting IRAs and 401ks into a tax-sheltered IRA backed by gold and silver. With thousands of satisfied customers, an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, Birch Gold can help you protect your savings. Text COAST.
That's fantastic. So you're just trying to sell me shit.
The more you know about
Good way to get people stressed.
Local currency, local debt. Okay. So then, how sort of important is the contagion factor from all of this? Because that's really what kind of global financial markets are looking at. It's what is the spillover into the rest of the markets? Can that be
Just inflation
at all, given that there is now kind of warning about it? Do we understand that this may be a possible factor?
I can't even.
Going off on the screen, it is definitely a big check mark.
Get one free offer. There are no costly filters. With Spring upon it. Get the allergy protection. What's into any outfit? Mold and mildew, cleanse and
Guys, in my mobile.
Calling all women.
Was that your only UFO sighting, or did
Oh, jeez, no.
Browns, they too will not get Watson under
Sports. Weather?
Juste des conseils d'opération.
Wait.
Qui est là. On va du côté du tunnel Louis-Paulette Lafontaine.
No, 5 à 7, maybe. Important French, I guess, information sharing.
Aggressively supplied the North Koreans and the North Vietnamese in their wars against
Let's stick with that.
America without spreading the war globally. Pakistan, Syria, and Iran sent deadly weapons, many in turn supplied to them by Russia, North Korea, and China to kill thousands of Americans during the Afghanistan and Iraq wars. 9.
Shocking.
Putin may never fully absorb Ukraine as long as it can be easily supplied across its borders by 4 NATO countries. The U.S. deadlocked in the Korean War, lost the Vietnam War, and stalled in Iraq and fled Afghanistan in part because its enemies were easily supplied by nearby border friends on the assumption the U.S. would not strike.
Interesting.
10.
That is,
Finally, it is not un-American to point out that prior American appeasement under the Obama and Biden administrations explains not why Putin wished to go into Ukraine, but why he felt he could. It is not treasonous to say Ukraine and the United States previously should have stayed out of each other's domestic affairs and politics. But
okay, so you could be
savage aggression. It is not traitorous.
You could run the country then.
Russia for centuries relied on buffer states between Europe, lost when its Warsaw Pact satellite members joined NATO, after its defeat in the Cold War, but the reality
Okay.
also does not justify Putin's savage attack.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
there's someone of sound mind who
Well,
has
it's
a
the whole thing
rational opinion.
And you
That
hear
is
this now,
not just fucking like, did you just shit on my opinion?
It's still fringe out there, but it exists, and that because the United
Is
States
this about the
and
color of my
NATO
skin? Like,
accepted
what?
so many other
Why are
countries
we talking about
that
that?
was a threat.
No one said
And the
anything
whole
about
thing is, no,
who
it's become
Colin
more of a
Powell. Why?
Because, as we said, NATO is no threat to Russia. Russia believes it is, but in the reality is NATO's no threat.
No, it isn't.
NATO's not going to invade Russia.
No. Well, because you would have
Why
to
not?
believe that any of those individual nations, NATO nations, would be a threat, right? It's not like there would be this massive collective
And it's
of
the
NATO
one you
just rushing the
you guys watch
border of
way
Russia.
too many fucking movies, man. It's like fucking. We would
The,
have never thought.
it's,
Canada,
I
of
think
course.
it's more so the influence, and this is what we've heard from Putin.
That's pathetic.
one
The
speech.
influence, like that's
You know,
pathetic.
it's
It's like
it's
as
just
low as
desire
Donald
to go
Trump
back to
fucking doing
the,
tweets for like
Soviet Union.
political fucking
Yeah, he
like
laid it out.
serious
That was
decision
it.
making on
And
Twitter.
so, you know, that was this is his, I think, his last breath at that before he's done in power, and maybe a way to secure power for a lot longer. I don't know, but certainly
I have
we
faith
know
in
that's
Putin.
the direction he wanted to
I
go.
think he'll be able to tough it out.
And following up on the story from earlier, the missile strikes near the airport in Lviv, which is in western Ukraine. The mayor of Lviv, Mayor Sadovy, says that several missiles hit an aircraft repair plant. This plant had been shut down, and they report that there are no casualties. So that's
So were you guys saying that the airport is being bombed, and then you guys are redacting it
This whole thing could be
because a plane flew into it?
You know, I'm going to
One of its own.
try and grab as much land as I can, try and do everything I can to return us to the Soviet Union days.
Yeah, I mean, that's the entire. I'm so glad you brought that up right now because it fits into the entire analysis of it. You have critics saying, well, if we didn't bring in those NATO countries, Putin wouldn't.
You don't want your mayor
in
making law.
You can't say that now.
You don't want your
Putin's
prime
made clear
minister
what he wanted to do. Right.
making law.
In his own words. Yep. He wants to return to the old
You-
Soviet Russia and have those
You
satellite
want a
countries
group
there.
of people
NATO didn't
that the
call
law
us to have
applies
that
to.
opinion.
Right. And then in recent days,
who have no
talking
financial
about
ties.
cleansing the traitors.
That's fucked up, man. Like,
This is all of this. Every time he speaks, it is scary. It is such
because he's an actor.
to hear that from,
Comedians are actors.
and we know who Putin is. But for the leader of any nation to talk about
Putin is fucking
it,
terrifying.
and yet, for years, we didn't take that threat seriously.
Yo,
We helped our
yeah, but
our
he
allies
fucking
in
backs the
Germany
shit
set
out.
up
Putin's fucking terrifying,
Stream.
man. No, I
Yeah,
cannot
go
believe
ahead, no
fucking
problem.
Putin. I cannot
And
believe
by
that he
the
fucking
way,
didn't turn around and
and
be like,
the response.
shutting this shit
This
down
whole
right now,
idea,
right
think
quick.
about this. And the spin that there yesterday, throughout the day, of trying to work a deal out with Iran. Think about this. I've heard
Not
the
a deal
word
with Iran.
diplomacy. I don't know how
Because it
many
was
times.
already done before. And fucking Trump
And,
fucked that shit
it's,
up.
well, because we need their supply of
We need the
oil
oil.
as a market.
Just say it.
No. In diplomacy, hold on a second. What do you mean diplomacy? What is Iran willing to give up? It's not
We
diplomacy
Fucking
at
sucked
all.
them dry
It's
already.
laying down, because what we're saying is, and this is, I heard this, oh my God.
Fucking leveled Syria
What we are
overnight.
looking to get, what we
Still
hope to get
children
out of
in the
this
rubble.
is transparency as they build their nuclear program.
You guys don't want to look. You know, transparency, and then you guys get all upset. You guys don't want to talk about it anymore because it makes you too upset. And
If
then
you
you fuck off.
believe that's going to happen, you're a moron. You're clueless. we look in one direction and see the reality of the danger of someone like Vladimir Putin. And then we're working in the other direction
And you're
again. And keep in mind, Iran in their constitution
underestimating.
talks about
Very
global
much
dominance.
underestimating.
And we want them to have, we're okay with helping them as long as there's transparency. Build their nuclear program. Are you
Average
insane?
citizens
Well, you know,
do
it-
not
it proves
understand
that
these
it's
fucking
just-
things.
It's
They
likely
do
to
not
make Joe
have the
Biden the number
emotional
one funder of
capacity.
terrorism in the world. Iran, the leading state sponsor of terrorism in the world, they deliberately target American citizens for murder.
Because they're fucking
And Joe
stupid
Biden,
as
for
shit,
whatever
man. They
reason,
believe
is
anything.
eager to fund terrorists trying to murder Americans.
Yeah, right. And I forget the number, but the number that we would be giving them for that oil is huge, and that's exactly what
Oh,
they
wow.
would go to fund their nuclear program. It would fund their sponsorship of terrorism, and they are,
It's pure insanity.
of any country, they're the
Yo.
largest sponsor of terrorism around the world.
It's
That's
propane.
absolutely right, and it's insane in one of the, and what you hear in
No,
the liberal media, this is
it's
the breakdown.
it's a bad business deal.
There is a value to
Because
building
it's fucking
a
go is
transparent
twat and screwed up pussy.
And then they kept using the word diplomacy. And the president is just looking to initiate a diplomatic approach with no,
hmm
it's insane.
That's why you get a bunch of
In
people
their
from
constitution,
France to come to Montreal to do a bunch of art exhibits. France does not like Quebec. I know this because I worked at the airport and tried to speak French to them, and they did not want me to.
Of what they're responsible for, and yet
They would rather me speak
okay to
English
work out
because
some diplomacy
they
with
sound like they
them
speak
and
in
help them
cursive.
build their nuclear
It's
program.
like,
Right, exactly.
sorry, we just took your language and shit all over it, didn't we?
I mean, seriously. It's scary how stupid
What just popped? Why did that just pop?
it is literally frightening how bad the situation is right now.
866-90 Red Eye.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harvey. It's Red Eye Radio.
Which is 760?
Red Eye Radio is available on demand. Consider a visit to Elma Sexual Wellness. Talk about
Anything to talk about your dicks. I know. You just want to make fucking ball jokes all day long. Okay. Got it. I'm not talking about fucking gynecologists fucking being super fucking useless and just pushing to get me to fucking insert a foreign object into my body. That's a yearly fucking awkward conversation while someone fucking violates me every year.
Getting much warmer with some sunshine, high up to 73. Increasing cloud.
Please tell me the traffic.
Try the chicken addiction bowl featuring chicken breast, whole grain rice, broccoli, and grilled
Don't tell me.
Reads in the text, but then I have a screen where I can actually see the trucker dad then sent me an image, and it says it's a little known secret, but every car that we have on the road actually has, Brendan's laughing already, actually has an emergency stop button. And then it's like an image of the horn logo on the horn. And the song just as annoying as a bunch of cars honking their horn. It's about the musical equivalent.
That is the question, and what is
So done of fucking punk ass fucking everybody wants to be a fucking gangster. The time for your dukes up, you guys are fucking brown nosing the fucking highest bidder.
And the cops could tell if this was, good crystal meth or not. But yeah, I guess the man actually did phone
Jesus.
911 to ask the cops about the batch that he was just purchased. I love he told the cops that he was an experienced drug user. Knows what he's doing. How many times do you think the last words out of
They
someone's
drive
mouth was,
my brother
"Don't
home.
worry, I know what I'm doing." Or I'm an
He
experienced
literally
at
was
this.
just
Don't worry.
fucking giving
I know how to
acid
hotwire a
because
car.
he
Don't
was
worry
passed
about
out on a doorstep.
But yeah,
They're like, "You okay?" They come fucking harass me for 45 minutes.
He knew what it should feel like. And I was
Walking
surprised
my
that Ron
dog
DeSantis
without
hasn't
ID.
set up a committee or a part of the
Pieces of
government
shit.
to a better business bureau for crystal meth in Florida. I'm sure the productivity rate in some places has been boosted because of crystal meth being available in so many different places. But
You guys are talking about
but
fucking
that's the thing
CBD being a
the
controlled
wonderful thing about drug
substance.
dealing is that you can't call the cops and just say, hey, I got some bad stuff. Who can I report this to?
I wish you could. I wish you could.
No, I guess. And then he was. The cops took him away in handcuffs, and then he was held on $7,000 bond for possession
Fucking-
of crystal meth.
Yo, he's a fucking
methamphetamine
danger,
and
man.
drug paraphernalia.
He's
I
a
guess that's
fucking
just
criminal,
a
hard
crack
criminal.
pipe or something, or a crystal meth pipe. Is that what that would be? Or
That's what that would be, a crack
Gotta
pipe.
lock that
Dave. You're
motherfucker.
very knowledgeable. Very, very
Well-
knowledgeable about crack pipes.
But I also thought, well, is there any sort of rule that you have to smoke crack in a crack pipe?
Yes,
Like
the
if-
International Crack Association puts out the rules every year, and they require you to do it out of a pipe.
So it's an international committee. It's not just a federal one that looks over the consumption of crystal meth and crack.
Must be.
This is our
Now,
news.
speaking of international stories,
Yeah.
join the Navy, they said. See the world, they said. I'd rather be watching twerkers. Well, now you can, because ABC, the news network, apologizes after showing twerking dancers on an Australian Navy ship. Why is the Australian Navy using twerkers on Navy ships? That's the question.
Because
that I'm
twerking
asking.
is
Dave,
super
do you have
fun.
an answer to that?
And
It does sort of bring up the
That's
question.
okay.
And in a
It's
perfect
very
world, I think we could
icky.
just probably just line up twerkers along the borders of war-torn countries,
Yeah.
and then just have them twerk for
fucking
freedom.
addictive.
But I think the bigger issue in this story is the sort of the creative
And you're
editing
just
that
jealous
the
that you can't
television
twerk.
station did.
Go try
where they
twerking.
really
Once
made
you
it
pick
look
it up,
like
you'll
that,
understand.
the launch of
Twerking's
this
the shit.
battleship. And also, that's always funny too. Is like people are upset that these dancers are performing in front of a warship. I don't know what the kill rate is for twerking, but I'm pretty sure that most Navy cruise ships have Navy battleships probably have a higher kill rate. So I don't really know what the big offense was, but apparently this
Why are we
dance happened
talking about
before the actual ceremony. But when it was cut together on the TV that night, they really made it look like all these sort of military dignitaries were watching the twerking going on, but
Most
they were
of the
they
other
happened in
countries,
two
they
different
have
times.
fucking
The story
show off
is
your army day.
You know, and when everyone
Parade
screams
of
at how deceptive the media
all
is,
their
this is probably
fucking
a perfect
military
example of it because the twerking and the dance thing happened way before
Okay, you know
all these
what?
sort of military heroes showed up to watch the launch of the ship. So as
This
the
is a
misleading
career that
coverage
takes
was,
some
cleared
real.
up by the TV station,
ethics
and they
and-
apologized. But of course, I feel
If
for the
anything
dancers
on here that
who feel
fucking
that their
concerns
reputation
you,
was
don't
hurt
feel free to
because
contact
of,
us.
this
We hold ethical
creative,
standards.
or not creative, but misleading editing.
They were sold to say that twerking was a great way to honor the Australian Navy. For some reason, I guess it wasn't, Dave.
No, well, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I was more offended at the fact that that the uniforms don't all match for the twerkers, and they all look like they're dressed up like that one fighter from Street Fighter. I think her name was Cammy. She had the red beret and the green outfit.
My first love.
Oh, I know, one of mine too. The even though I mean I did have a thing for Chun-Li as well, but I
Fucking
think Cammy
Chun-Li
was
is
the
the
one that
fucking-
I think she
Honestly,
was more Street
who
Fighter
comes
2
into us
and
and
Street
does
Fighter
this
1.
shit?
But
Speaks some Asian
yes,
to me, baby.
that's what their uniforms look like, and they all didn't match. So of course, I'm more of a perfectionist when it comes to that. So I was more offended at the non-matching uniforms, but. We can
You know
move
what
on.
offends me?
Let's move on. Let's move on to dolphins. Research is suggesting they get, quote, deliberately high from pufferfish nerve toxins
Yeah,
after chewing and passing them
most
around.
animals get
For a
intoxicated.
brief second there, I thought that we were
Either
talking about the
from
Miami dolphins,
fermented
but I guess this
berries
is more
and
like puff
fermented
puff
fruit.
pass. No, sorry, pufferfish
Bears
pufferfish
like to
pass
get drunk.
going on. Yeah, people we
Most-
get high as kites, but it's a bit sad that dolphins only ever get as high as, I don't know, sea level, Dave.
They also
Yeah,
rape
well,
people and
I-
bring
I-
them out
I-
into the middle of the
Yeah,
ocean
it sort of
and
makes you kind
abandon
of
them
wonder,
and
like,
lost
what
them in
does a
distance while
dolphin
you're
have
gone.
to decompress about and chill out? What are the stresses that a dolphin
Dolphins
goes
are
through on
evil.
a daily basis that he feels this need to get high?
Or she, Dave. They like to puff
That's a
too.
true fact.
All right, I
I'm not
don't
just
mean to-
speaking bullshit.
Did I gender the dolphin?
You were a sexist dolphin getting high storytellerist. Unbelievable.
I
make-
love that
I
we're
make
just
typical
gonna
white
run on this for the
cisgender
next like
straight male, so-
week at least.
You can accept my
Hey,
assumption. I don't know. I do feel bad that I assumed.
it's
that,
all right.
I just assumed that they would that I put a gender.
You know
to
what
these
they say
dolphins,
when
but,
you assume.
But this really is evidence that they probably are sort of well, they do say that their dolphins are incredibly smart, which
They do. But I
which would
worry
be-
the puritanical dolphin government is going to make pufferfish illegal soon. That's my big fear, Dave.
Yeah, well, then I worry about all these stress-filled
Just like
dolphins.
CBD.
And are they going to take that anger out on us as human beings? Are they going to sort of try
Okay,
to
it's like
unionize
really-
SeaWorld?
Hemp
and
is
they
illegal.
can't have their pufferfish.
Controlled substance for your
So
own safety.
show us your card.
You should be the union rep, Dave, for the SeaWorld Dolphins. All right, I'm here with Dave Martin. He's a funny comedian based out of Toronto. You've got a gig coming up on Wednesday in Burlington. Tell me about that, Dave.
Yes. Well, if you were a fan of Sean Cullen, who is a very famous he's a very famous Canadian performer. He's been all over radio and TV here. But he was on Mad TV with Porky and the Juice Pigs years ago, and yeah, I think he was a reporter. He was a reporter for the Tonight Show with Jay Leno for a while, and he's doing one of his shows up at the was it the Burlington? I should know where it is.
It's at the Burlington Performing Arts Center, Dave.
The Burlington
I know
Performing
more
Arts Center.
about your
Yes.
gigs than you do.
I know, but I will be there at the gig is March 23rd at 7:30 p.m. Burlington Performing Arts Center. It is myself, Dave Martin, Sabrina Douglas, and Tony Napo who are going to be the guest comics, and there'll be a guest musician.
Shit.
Declan O'Donovan is going to be the musical guest. Sean Cohen's absolutely hilarious dude. He's performed at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival numerous times, the Just for Laughs Montreal Festival numerous times, and I will be with him on the 23rd. So get there early. I will probably be going on first.
All right, you can find out more about Dave Martin, including the Anything Goes podcast, at DaveMartinWorld.com.
It's fucking cut. See, you can actually, they usually hear it pretty, like, significantly when they get cut. They usually jump to, like, one of the more formal fucking reporters. It's fucking annoying. It's, like, always, like, right when shit gets fucking intense and, like, super good conversation, too, where you're like, oh, finally, someone's fucking talking about this shit. Kind of felt like I was losing my shit here, but shit seems not normal. Okay. It was... Not let myself in there. Like... I should have totally gone through Griffintown. It just turned 4 o'clock. I don't know. Average people usually party late. I just want to see people that are actually like awake and alive. And I think Griffintown's like honestly abandoned at this point. Everything is just like a giant construction site. So lucky. Oh, there it is. Oh. So lucky I cleaned my car today. I swear this shit out of my car. If I had got pulled over and I did not scream my car, I would have gotten arrested for a DUI. That would have probably. Ow! Fuck! Fuck! Ow! This can't be it. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Yeah, look, it's under there. Goodbye. To the depths of my car you go. Fucking like sat in the fucking river for like an hour or something. Can't be that bad.
St. Peter's team would not go away. 25. Of the Great Lakes, all down the Mid-Atlantic, and the west coast of Alaska.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is CBS News.
Wait, I say it was that bad?
Rebound comes to Talbot.
A letter to News 10 last month, signed by 16 athletes on the school swim team, saying, quote, Leah holds an unfair advantage over competition in the women's category, as evidenced by her ratings that have bounced from number 462 as a male to number 1 as a female. But another trans swimmer, Isaac Hennig of Yale, who recently competed against Thomas, argues otherwise.
Trans athletes have always existed, we will continue to exist, and we deserve to play the game just as much as everyone else.
ABC's Mona Rosa Abdi reported. A deadly Thursday crash that closed an interstate in Missouri for hours left 6 people dead, says ABC's Kent Martin.
The early morning pileup involved at least 20 tractor trailers and scores of smaller vehicles on Interstate 57 in southeast Missouri. It left several other people
Oh,
injured.
Fox. Pretty sure.
After it lost more than 90% of its value in the past 4 years. So we're looking to see if the private equity firm makes a firm offer with a deadline for that scheduled on the 15th of April.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks to our equities.
To the next deal, which was the second. Or record-setting wildfires this information. When it came to the first deal, it yet getting more.
They're also set the stage for more record-setting wildfires.
So, good job, Sound to Nature. Good job.
Repealed the Stamp Act of 7365. Or at SRNnews.com.
Ah!
The following is a pre-recorded broadcast.
I love when live news is a pre-recorded. Am I I thought it's an oxymoron. Like,
Welcome to the Air Detective. So, Alvin, Alvin Patrick's Day to you, my friend. I know, we're culturally appropriating
no.
The Thursday in force because there were plenty of story lines to choose from. Our phone number 855-212-4227. That's 855-2.
So all of the fixed-base military treatment facilities will become part of the Trans-South Agency.
I cannot listen to people.
St. Peter's department because you know what? Defensively, they got up and into him. They pushed him out. They distorted it. They challenged every shot, every pass. But the end of the
Oh, God. Cat.
I didn't have any work, but I just shouldn't feel like going home. But
There you go. It's really cool. I'm glad AM has so many fucking stations with music
The
now.
Long Island Railroad train was like coming back to Ronkonkoma from that. Or Babylon, whatever stop you get off. For me, it was Ronkonkoma. And those trains, Rangers, Islanders, and it's loud. A lot of, you know, a lot of hostility there between the two fan bases. Yeah, some out.
Lord,
Other
fucking
teams playing,
shit.
you know, not just Big Ten teams, but
Oh.
you know, he's a guy that can be a brute force and can dominate a game, not just.
Still never lost to a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament.
109.
They pick a different team, I
Line
guess.
is 818-501-4721.
Then like a Pittsburgh Penguins. Go back to guys like Crosby. Crosby.
5033. From west of the Rockies, toll free. Call 800-618.
Amazing guys. One of the most amazing quarterbacks
You know, at the end of the day, we knew we're a tough team to scout.
From the gateway to the west, this is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
This hour, we'll take your calls with Deb Bruni as we talk about her work, UFO investigator on Coast to Coast, so get ready. If you have a small business or if you send out a lot of postage at home, maybe you work out of your house, Stamps.com is for you. You know, time is money. Don't waste either with repeated trips to the post office. With Stamps.com, you can...
Ça fait un survol des différentes entraves sur le réseau.
When the mayor comes in, is you.
My one is not getting fucking
you know, you
letters
wanna
mailed to
take a
me
picture with the mayor,
because
whoever the mayor.
I
And
thought we were doing the letters.
his arm around the person that wants a picture with him, and the person, like, you're looking out for him, says, "Oh, put your drink down. You don't want to get the Tito's and soda in the photograph." Because that happens with me sometimes. I'll be holding a drink, a martini or an old fashioned bourbon or whatever, and somebody will say, "Oh, you don't want to be photographed with the drink." You know what Eric Adams says? No, let him take my picture. I drink Tito's and soda. I am drinking Tito's and soda. Why shouldn't I be photographed drinking Tito's and soda? So I gave him credit for that, and I gave him credit for the open about taking baths. I like baths. When I was, for most of my life, when I was living at my mom's, I was almost exclusively a bathtub person.
Okay,
Because
it's
at
fine.
least for about 10 years that I lived
That's
there,
just kind of
I
icky.
had this wonderful
Talk about his grown-ass
jacuzzi
man.
bathtub, which was so relaxing. You get
What was
some
it?
bubbles
Oh, yeah.
in there, some lights, some great bath salt. The house that we're in now, we don't have a big old bathtub, so I primarily take showers. But when I'm in the mood for leisure and relaxing, I am a bath person. I love it. And I felt more relaxed just listening to Eric Adams describe his bathtub ritual. Matt Blake, where are you? Bathtubs or shower? Bath or shower? I'm not hearing you.
It's creepy.
I'm a shower. Your shower strict.
I don't think I've taken a bath since I was a kid.
Really? Not me. I love it. Again, I can't remember the last one I took. It's probably been at least a few months. Probably when I was in a hotel room in Atlantic City or Las Vegas or something, and they had a nice bathtub. Because our bathtub is kind of rough and ready. It's kind of utilitarian. It's not anything special. But when there's a nice opportunity in a luxurious bathtub, I'm all about it. Molly, are you a bath or
touch
a
that
shower
bathtub
person?
before you.
Oh, jeez.
You're fucking
Fifth on that one as well.
you have high trust in your fucking nature, so.
Hey, let me play this as well before we move on.
Such a
It's
least
clear
amount of
that
shit in
Andrew Cuomo
hotels.
wants to come back this year, right? I mean, he's got to do it quickly. So I expect we will see a decision on Andrew Cuomo running for governor within the next 7 days. Because this petitioning period, as Yogi would say, it's getting late early. And right now, he's going to have to go out and get 15,000 signatures minimum. Now, he can hire people to do it, and I'm sure he'll have a lot of volunteers and people to do it. It's still tough, because you have to bind and number all those petitions. It's tough. It's tough to get 15,000 petitions, especially when you have two other gubernatorial candidates, Suozzi and Williams, who also need to get signatures. Hochul doesn't need to get it. But meaning if they've already signed for Suozzi or Williams, that signature is not valid for Cuomo. So I expect we're going to hear
I was
something
supposed to
in
go
the
try to
next
boost
week. Andrew
my
Cuomo
fucking job.
continued his attempted comeback story yesterday in the Boogie Down Bronx, where he spoke at the church of Reverend Ruben Diaz, former state senator, former city councilman. This was the former governor of the state of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
Cuomo, do you plan to run again for governor?
How are we doing, sir? Hey, everybody. Thanks for the help. Thanks for everything you do. All right, guys. Represent President's Day.
Amen.
Cuomo, you want to grab that, sir? Got my green card.
Yeah, you're a scumbag. Why are we talking about him?
On that
Fuck
question.
this guy.
But if you, I don't know if we have any other Cuomo audio, but
Oh
if
my
you
god,
listen to
shocking.
the
Chris
audio
Cuomo's
from
a
his speech,
fucking
it definitely
pig-headed
sounded
douchebag.
like he
Obviously,
wants
let's
to run for governor.
fucking look at him.
And
There's Chris Cuomo, and him and his brother. They're a fucking tag team in the fucking news world. They're like the top, what is it, like top liberal for fucking news? Those guys.
Are you almost hoping that Cuomo wins the nomination because
laughed and from tragedy,
Sorry,
this mixture of
I wanna
tragedy
fucking
and
figure it.
humor and tragic narratives and being great speakers that can connect with audiences. To me, it's no surprise that Zelensky can turn this dark stuff into something that's connecting with people on an emotional level, because for many comedians, that's part of the job, especially the great ones. Has that ever occurred to you before, Mark?
No, I think it makes sense. I mean, comedians know how to tell a story, stand-up comedians know how to tell it in as few words as possible with the greatest impact in the shortest time. And so you see that almost like he's been classically trained to do this, because I don't think he has. But there's such a fine line, I think, between grief and humor. I mean, what happens when you laugh too hard? You cry. And, you know, I was in the Army for a long time, and anybody...
So tired of fucking seeing reruns of your shit.
There's a limit to what I can do for keep employees engaged. Fortunately, there's a disparity. Think of 30+ years of HR experience work to help me with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance, while giving my employees competitive benefit options. And because I'm able to focus on other priorities, my employees can thrive and my business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Neil Armstrong took 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. No sweat and drive.
I'm gonna fucking start taking down fucking plays and then fucking dump it off at the fucking police station at the end of the month. Fucking ask for fucking my paycheck. Please, thank you. Okay. What's that one? I just don't want to go to class. I'm like, coffee
on humanitarian relief for Ukraine will not just in Russia's invasion is the reason Ukraine needs the humanitarian relief, but also the U.S. labs in Ukraine. U.S. officials say that's a lie, and maybe Russia protecting what they are planning.
That's a lie.
Those of us who drive in Manhattan saw the 60th Street. Not to hear the MTA summit, so likely start getting hit with an extra by the end of next year. Passengers could not drive as much south of 60th Street in Manhattan to Jefferson Safety. And what affects that executive order? They didn't care. They were in a lockstep with the government. I believe the state urgent and punishment.
Fuck. Okay. Wait, I know. Is it K103 should have a fucking news station like CJAD does.
I experienced what you guys call the time slip that Travis on board. He was fast asleep, so I didn't talk to him about it at first. I just chalked it up to I must have written my, off time off the Phoenix wrong.
You'll get used to me. This is not new.
Interesting. What do you think, Travis, by the way, is a great guy.
So are you saying, I didn't understand what that, was there something that occurred where
thunderstorms, just small ones, level 3, shuttles flying around in thunderstorms. It was the first time I've ever
I'm not fucking with you no more. I swear to God. I know you guys are the real shit. They are the what do you call it? Voldemort. Like who shall not be named. I from now on, I walk past, I put my head down. No more talk in front of their house. I swear to God, I don't want to get fucking shot, especially not in the back of my head.
no way that he passed me because I left him in the dust, and then he's in front of me miles down the road. So that's not missing time in a sense of.
Sounds like going through the Bermuda Triangle, doesn't it?
Well,
Isn't that code for vagina?
I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I don't consciously know if we were abducted, like the whole car was taken, right, and then brought back onto the road.
Oh, are you the Alien Channel? Undoubtedly, like
China, it will impose costs if Beijing backs Moscow. The phone call later today, they says since the invasion started 23 days ago. This says Ukrainian officials says Russian strikes on infrastructure and residential areas are continuing. According to the country's biggest utility, 1.3 million people are now without power. Meanwhile, here in the UK, we're getting some breaking headlines that Russian state-backed news channel that's RT's license to broadcast in the UK has been revoked with immediate effect, and that's according to the regulator Ofcom. Now, China is signalling a shift in its long-standing COVID strategy. While reiterating a commitment to its COVID zero policy, President Xi says the country will also strive to minimize the impact on economic and social development. Hong Kong's current outbreak of COVID-19 has been so deadly that so many
it's hard to want to give blood failure too.
The official death toll in the whole of the rest of China. And Bloomberg has learned that JP Morgan has processed interest payments on dollar bonds issued by the Russian government, sending the money to Citigroup, which is acting as a payment agent. Analysts say that could take a technical default off the table for Russia, although questions remain about corporate debt. We're told JP Morgan received approval from US authorities for that transaction. Global news 24 hours a day on air and on Bloomberg Quickly, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Leanne Guerin. This is Bloomberg. A bit husky there, Anna. Sorry. I'm making that voice. Just saying, that's okay. When I'm out to get a drink. Leanne Guerin, thank you very much for the broader news. Now, let us get to one of the big...
Oh, Megan Kelly or Leanne Kelly? Yeah, not Megan Kelly. Really? That's interesting. Please don't show Sean. Let's fuck that piece of shit. No offense. I know you're gross, but fuck that guy. That guy fucking sat on my mom's couch on Christmas and literally said fucking a lot. Yeah, but that sucks though, because fucking I actually also saw you on date night once at Scotiabank. I was smoking pot on the side of the road. Just fucking sitting there. No, when I was more not broken. It fucking threw me off quite a bit too. It made me quit my job. Sat on my mom's couch, talking about marriage and children. Went and met his mom. Holy shit. Fucking rich as fuck. Yeah. That was a fucking literally left my significant other, unpacked all my shit. Got me exiled from PayPal. So obviously Sean's way cooler. It's fine. I'm not cool enough to do ketamine, sorry. I like my brain in my skull. Because depressed people probably. It's not suicidal people. Should probably not take ketamine. Because I might be literally off myself. Because I'm like, whatever. Drugs are bad. I get put in a drug category and I don't even get to do the fun part of being considered the junkie. It's not fair. This is all drinking. Fucking got to get drunk like 5 times. Each time lasts like 2 hours. Great. Party. This fucking sucks. The road's nice. Oh, I wanted to look up that Vivi Tours place.
You talked about how you have these 2 systems running in tandem right now. You have 2 systems and the systems get.
Here in new services, don't have any systems going up.
I guess we'll go back to TJ finally.
Gold Psychotic Jewel du scandalisme. Mais jusqu'à 5 heures du matin. Et on n'a pas
Is it 5?
possibilité de faire des entrées au
5 I said. That's when French people tell each other fucking news on the radio. And then fucking English fucking radio was like 4 a.m. to 5 a.m.
I love a warm car. Like, I didn't grow up with this, but my parents have since acquired vehicles that have heated seats.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's what my dad used to. He used to call seat heaters butt warmers, and he used to call the child window locks the quote fart locks, because if you